Hello and welcome to How's That? Yesterday was a night of disappointment, even though the Sunrisers Hyderabad fan would be thrilled that the side got into the third place and in the playoff and will take on Royal Challengers Bangalore with a commanding win over Mumbai Indians. But the disappointment for me, Vijay, stemmed from the fact that Rohit Sharma took the field. Normally, you don't get unhappy when a player steps on the field. There is a sense of joy when a captain comes back from injury and leads the side. But yesterday was disappointing because Rohit Sharma preferred to play against advice from both Ravi Shastri and Sourav Ganguly, the board president.
Hamstring is absolutely fine. These four words from the captain to Mark Nicholas after the game was over uh, is bound to create a debate. We are going to talk about it. But yes, his side on the field was going to trigger off controversy, which it has, and it's now for the BCCI, the medical team, and the selectors to take a final call on what they did was right or wrong.
I think we should get over with that disappointment quickly. Speak about Rohit Sharma's decision for just that bit before we discuss the game, Vijay, because it is going to weigh heavily on my mind. Is this indiscipline? Is this what you would expect from a very senior player? When the board has asked you not to play a game, they have advised you against rushing back into the sport in a hurry, especially with what they called a hamstring tear. But it doesn't seem like one because he took the field yesterday. There seems to be a conflict, and Indian cricket doesn't need that kind of a conflict at this point of time.
I will debate, we shall argue, and I will speak as if I'm Rohit Sharma, right? So I want to ask you if I'm saying I'm fit, I know my hamstring, I'm on the field, I'm preserving myself, I'm not going up, I'm not running after the ball, I'm fielding in a very safe position, and I'm a very mature cricketer. I know I have been, my eyes are set on Australia. Um, so what do I do? I mean, I have led India also, and we are leading a team also, and there is a possibility that I may have to figure in the next two games or one game. It depends. So I think we will have to give Rohit Sharma some space and allow him to kind of defend if we need to accuse him of why he took the field, and also wait for the Sourav Ganguly to respond and Ravi Shastri to respond. They have made their views public, Rajaraman, and also the selectors. They have not had any say in this matter so far. What the selectors feel. I mean, why did they pick him? Why did they not pick him? So now I'll leave the ball in your court. I mean, I'm Rohit Sharma. You can accuse.
Vijay, I can't play Ravi Shastri or Sourav Ganguly because Sourav
Yeah, yeah,
Ganguly is very unpredictable. I must be very honest. Sourav Ganguly is very unpredictable. As a board
yes,
president, he has surprised me, sometimes shocked me even. Uh,
yeah,
you don't know what he's going to say. But having asked Rohit Sharma to rest and recover fully before he takes the field, if I were Sourav Ganguly, I would be a little disappointed, if not angry, that you are risking your hamstring. And a hamstring injury is not the easiest to recover. And
yeah,
you would wait a little bit. And for him to have taken a field in an inconsequential match, this match was of very little consequence to Mumbai Indians. For him to take the field in a game where you're resting Trent Bolt and Jasprit Bumrah tells you of your priorities. If I were Rohit Sharma and I wanted to risk my hamstring, I would do it in a bigger game. I would do it in the first playoff match rather than in a very, very insignificant game. And look at how Mumbai Indians performed on the field yesterday. One, he was disappointing with the bat, didn't seem to be timing the ball well at all. And two, he was unable to motivate the side to find its competitive instinct. It was like Mumbai Indians was just turning up there and waiting for Sunrisers Hyderabad to finish the match as quickly as possible so that they could go and get some rest.
Absolutely, Rajaraman. I agree with you on the point of Sourav Ganguly. I mean, he has been disappointing, no doubt. As a former India captain, BCCI president, you expected a lot from him, and if he has not delivered, to me, I think it's a huge disappointment. I mean, we have known him for so many years. And again, I'm Rohit Sharma. I know what I'm doing. I am trying to test myself. I'm testing myself whether I can, how long it will take me to recover. I'm testing myself. I have a grade 2 hamstring. So it means I have to be very careful. I will have to watch out because if it aggravates, I am out for 6 months. If it aggravates, I could be out for 1 year, right? So which means end of career for all you know. And also I'm playing for a franchisee at the moment. So I'm answerable to the franchisee. I'm not playing for India at the moment. So there are too many factors, but I completely agree with you. I should be responsible as as one of the premier batsmen of the country and take responsibility and understand that my role on the forthcoming tour to Australia is far more important than turning out for the remaining matches for the franchisee. So I'm with you. He should have been careful. But for all you know, Rajaraman, he may have tested his injury and probably may not be seen in the next games. Depends.
I would only hope that he's not aggravated it and it doesn't get worse for Rohit Sharma. He's a
Yeah.
first-class batsman. There is no doubt about it, and he's one of the world's best. When on song, there is no side better than Rohit Sharma.
Yes.
Sometimes he looks even better than Virat Kohli because he's playing shots all around the wicket, and that is saying something. But you want him to be responsible. You want him to set very good example. Here is the coach of the Indian side going public saying that if I were Rohit Sharma, I would be resting because I made the mistake during my playing career of rushing into the sport and aggravating my injury. And we all know what happened to Ravi Shastri and his knee, and he went out pretty early in his career in
True.
1994. And then you're also defying the board president, who has gone on record as saying that Rohit Sharma has got a long career ahead of him and he must be patient. And unfortunately, for Rohit Sharma, he was seen as being defiant. Will be interesting to see how the board reacts to that, whether it is Sourav Ganguly or Jay Shah, who is the executive officer in terms of being the secretary of the board. We'll have to wait and watch what they say and how they respond. But we can only hope, as students of the game, that Rohit Sharma has not damaged his hamstring even a little bit more.
Is it not a comment on the medical team of the BCCI, Rajaraman? I mean, they are the ones who, before the team was picked, they gave a report to the selectors. Look, this is the report of every player who is contracted to the BCCI, and the selectors have gone by the medical report which says that he cannot be picked for the next 6 weeks. He cannot be playing for the next 6 weeks. So it is also for the BCCI medical team to come clean on this. Also, allow the selectors. I think the big mistake was not allowing the selectors to give their point of view when the team was announced. Nobody said anything why Rohit Sharma was missing, and so many questions were asked. Mr. Sunil Gavaskar was asking why he's not there and he's practicing. So I will not make much of the practice video because he just went and he played a few balls in the nets. That doesn't convey much. But his taking the field is definitely a very unsavory chapter in Indian cricket, and of course on Rohit Sharma.
I don't want to be Rohit Sharma for a moment and then answer that question. But my
Yeah,
mind goes back to several times where cricketers have feigned injuries and have
yeah.
stayed away from games. But here is one man who is overcoming injury and stepping on the field and creating as much controversy. Uh, my mind
Oh
goes
yes,
back. My mind goes back to a test match in Nagpur against Australia. It was a green top, and we got to see the Indian captain then stay away from the game. In fact, go back to his home side. He wasn't even with the team when the match was on, and we got to see Rahul Dravid lead the side that time. And of course, India lost that test match. But there are so many instances where players have said that they're not feeling well, or some have asked why me. and stayed away from big game. But this is a very, very different instance, Vijay.
Yes, yes. Why me was fantastic. Why me? Because the pitch was bouncy, and there was another cricketer who would go into hiding when the 11 was being picked. So we have had many instances, but you are right. Some people have run away. They have opted to the confines of the comforts of the dressing room. But here, yes, there is a player who was injured who was trying to say, "I'm not injured. I can come out and play a competitive game." So there are a lot of things to be discussed, Rajaraman, but the fact remains that this lack of communication between the president, the player, the selectors, the medical team, the coach, and the fans. Because as a fan, I want to know what is the real state of Rohit Sharma's availability. Because I am a very big stakeholder in Indian cricket. I watch you, I cheer you, and where am I? I mean, I don't even know what is the truth. So I think BCCI owes it to the fans because they are the most important segment of the popularity of the game in India.
I could be wrong, Vijay, but I think Ravi Shastri played that role in that interview to a television channel, and that was subsequently picked up by the wired services. He spoke about Rohit Sharma's hamstring injury, and there is some detail there. We don't know if that is the full truth. We'll have to wait and watch. But Rohit Sharma had disappointment also, not just with his own performance with the bat, but with the overall manner in which Mumbai Indians messed up the game yesterday. Uh, was listless on the field. Bowlers did not seem to get their act right. Those who got the opportunities yesterday, the fielders were not 100%. It was almost like Mumbai Indians just turned up, could have as well considered a walkover and given 2 points to Sunrisers Hyderabad. But obviously, that is against the rules, and they were waiting for the game to end as quickly as is possible. But Vijay, I think for a team to bounce back from a 10-wicket defeat, and this was a crushing win for Sunrisers Hyderabad, for Mumbai Indians now to bounce back and play Delhi Capitals will be quite a challenge.
Let me confess what my thoughts are. See, Rajaraman, I will not read much into this 10 wicket defeat because of the fact that Mumbai knew it was a match of no consequence. They were testing a captain who was injured. There is no Hardik Pandya, there is no Trent Bolt, there is no Jasprit Bumrah. And they know it doesn't matter. So when you take the field with such a lethargic view, I think you underperform. Your heart is not there, and it was very evident in the manner in which some players got out, in the manner they fielded. So here, full marks to Hyderabad. They had to win, and they won with a very emphatic statement on their comeback. 3 matches in a row they have won. So hats off to Hyderabad, my home team.
Um, let's stick with Hyderabad now, since you mentioned Hyderabad. They would be very happy, and it's unfortunate that we spent so much time discussing Rohit Sharma and a little bit of Mumbai Indians before we stepped on to the Hyderabad territory. They played superb cricket yesterday. Uh, Very good bowling effort to restrict Mumbai Indians to 149, and then David Warner and Riddhiman Saha knocking off those runs and without losing a wicket and in just 17.1 overs.
Riddhiman Saha and David Warner slayed them because the chanceless. I mean, the way they went about the job, finished it without losing a wicket, and the bowlers did a fabulous job. Rajaraman, I was watching this video of Sandeep Sharma and Rashid Khan interviewing each other. So what humility this Sandeep Sharma has. He's not taking any credit. He says, I was trying a different ball, it happened, so I got a wicket. Then he says it wasn't a wicket, it's not a ball that deserved a wicket, I got a wicket. So if when you play the game with such approach, you deserve to be congratulated. And obviously Sandeep Sharma, Rashid Khan, Saha, Warner, they were bound to play very crucial roles in the forthcoming.
Yes, and I will add someone like a Shahbaz Nadeem to that list of players that you mentioned. Was brilliant to watch him yesterday. 4 overs for just 18 or 19 runs and a couple of wickets, including a very good stumping from Riddhiman Saha to see the
Yeah.
back of Surya Kumar Yadav, who was looking very good on the field. From 81 for 2, there was a slide, just 1 run and 3 wickets in the space of 7 balls, and then the match was as good as over. So someone like Shahbaz Nadeem can take credit for having spurred Hyderabad on at that very, very critical stage in the middle overs. Let's watch what Shahbaz has to say about his own effort.
Yeah, it always feels good when you're performing for your team, and that too in this crucial match. So, as a team, as a player of this team, I felt really nice, and to contribute during this stage of the game. So I felt really good. Yeah, we have a little bit of pressure because this is a crucial match for us. But as you know, we have won last 3 matches, and we were having that momentum. So we felt like just we took it as as another match, and if we will do our everyone does their things. So I feel it will be really easy for us to win. It really feels good when you are defeating such a good team and a strong team in the pool. So it felt really nice doing that, and I feel it gives a lots of encouragement to our team. We have been training really hard in the nets and during the practice also, and Murli sir is helping us. Even Lakshman sir, even the coaches and all the management, they're very good, and they motivates each and every player. Either you're playing or you're not playing, they're always there for you. And as a player, when you're not playing, it helps you to that when somebody makes you feel that you are important in this team. So I feel that helps everyone in the squad.
With Warner in this kind of form, Vijay, it's going to be difficult for the Royal Challengers Bangalore in that eliminator game, that when they square up against one another. Warner and Saha came together and have stitched together such wonderful partnerships already in the short time that they have been together at the start of the innings.
Yes, and see, they are complementing each other. Warner is all aggression. Saha is a little cautious, balanced. I mean, he's also played some outstanding shots. I mean, you would think, oh, is it really Saha who's batting? Because the inside out, the on drives, the cover drives. So, a very exciting pair. And I wish they continue to bat in the same manner in the next game, because it's very crucial for these two to perform at the top.
But before that game between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Royal Challengers Bangalore, there is that big match against the top two sides in the tournament, Mumbai Indians and Delhi Capitals. Here is Nish Nawalkar asking us a question about that game.
Mumbai's batting lineup, mighty powerhouse, big hitters from number 1 to number 7 or 8. They can clear the boundary at will. Perhaps not the same case with Delhi Capitals. With due respect to them, their batting lineup seems a bit one-dimensional at the moment. Like there is a bit of shortage in brute power that you need to send the ball across the boundary down the ground. So when the chase is around 150 to 160, they seem to have it covered. But when it is around in the region of 185 to 190, they seem to struggle a bit in that aspect, and they keep on holding out in the outfield. Would you want the Delhi Capitals to make changes in a kind of well settled batting lineup to add some more bite, more power to it, to give a bit more of a threat, more of a scare to the Mumbai Indians?
Thank you, Nish. You have come back with the second question in this show. We had seen your probing question in the beginning of the series. But Rajaraman, I would love to hear your views on this, on what he wants.
It's a very interesting question, but it's surprising that Nish sees Delhi Capitals as lacking firepower. Someone like a Marcus Stoinis can hit the ball really hard. We haven't seen Rishabh Pant do that, but when he hits the ball, it stays hit, doesn't it? And then Shreyas Iyer can be similar. They don't have big hitting batsmen, particularly with Prithvi Shaw failing consistently in the last few games. They don't have big hitting batsmen, and then they seem to have all bases covered. I only hope that Delhi Capitals finds a way of fitting in Shimron Hetmeyer in the side, and then they will get the firepower that Nish is talking about. But I think it's going to be an interesting game with Delhi Capitals giving it everything to try and win this game. It is not always about big strikes. It is about smart cricket, and if Delhi Capitals can play smart cricket, they can upset Mumbai Indians. There is no doubt that Mumbai Indians is the best side in the tournament at this point of time, and Delhi Capitals will have to play out of its skin to win that game, Vijay.
I want to see how long this Rishabh Pant is not going to contribute, because it is time for him to explode. And he is one cricketer, one batsman, Rajaraman. You have again seen him from very close quarters. He can take the game away in a matter of overs. So I want Rishabh Pant to fire, because if you want to have a good contest, you will have to have good runs on the board.
Let us watch what Rohit Sharma, the captain of Mumbai Indians, has to say about that game, Vijay. He's got some interesting thoughts how Mumbai Indians should be leaving this game that they played against Sunrisers Hyderabad behind and looking toward the future.
Playoffs will be a different ball game. We've been in playoffs many a times before, and we do understand the pressure of being in playoffs. Of course, we did a lot of mistake today from the bat to start with. We were not good with the bat, and certainly we cannot afford to do that in the playoffs. We need to be smart in terms of our shot selection, which we didn't do right today. So a lot of mistakes we made today. As I said at the start, we want to leave this game as quickly as possible and forget this game as quickly as possible, and try and focus on what's coming for us. We'll regroup. We'll regroup, we'll get together, and we'll understand what we need to do as a team collectively. And pretty sure that the team is looking in good morale. Forget the loss, but overall we played well through the tournament, and I expect Mumbai Indians to play in the similar fashion. We were not expecting a result like that. It probably was our worst performance of the season, and we want to leave this performance right here. But having said that, we also wanted to try out few things, knowing that we are qualified and we are at the top 2 spot. We wanted to try out few things, try different combination, different batting order. It clearly didn't work out for us, but it's a good learning for us also. You need to know sometimes your bench strength also, because we still have some more games to play. So that was a thought, but still, having said that, again, we didn't want a result like that.
Will be interesting to see how Mumbai Indians comes back from that defeat and regroups itself, as Rohit Sharma points out, Vijay. But after a day's break, they will be back on the field against Delhi Capitals, and that will be some game to watch. But while IPL itself takes a day's break, we are not going to do that, Vijay, and we will have a very special guest when we meet tomorrow and have a good conversation with another journalist, a friend of ours, Rakesh Rao.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to Rakesh Rao. He's an absolute expert on IPL, the trend, and reading the games before the games happen. So I'm sure it will be fun.
I'm waiting for that conversation with Rakesh, and I'm sure both of us will throw a lot of questions at him. We'll go back to being a questioning journalist that we are. And until then, I will take leave of you, Vijay. Thank you very much for your time, and you have a lovely day.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much.